Cenat Streamer University is one of the biggest scams I've ever seen. I really think it's a social experiment, and I think that it just shows you that poor people, broke people that are not willing to put in the work will be willing to stand in a line for 10, 15, 16 hours just to get a come up. Just to get a come up. They think that that's how the world works. And that's the problem. I'm going to start calling this the Willy Wonka Effect, where people think that they can just cut the line, skip steps, and become successful. And I don't want to blame it just on the people. It's also Cenat's fault. And I think that people are going to think I'm a hater for making this video, but I'm really not. I have nothing against Kai. I think that he's a really good content creator, if I'm being honest with you guys. But I think that he also plays into this. He picks people at random, like Ray, like Rakai, to put on display so that other people think that that could be them in the future. And I'm willing to bet that it's all fake. I'm willing to bet that Ray was already into acting, modeling, all this stuff, probably had an agent, probably already reached out to Kai. But even if it's not fake, it still just proves my point that people think that that could be them. And that's what Cenat wants. He wants you to think that that could be you. And for you to be willing to stand in a line for hours with nothing in return other than just meeting him. But you'll still do it. You'll still do it. And for most of you, 99.99999% of you, it's not going to add up to any type of opportunity at all. And that's by design. It really is. Look, in life, there is no such thing as a free handout. Even let's say that Kai does pick you somehow, and he does put you on. Now you're going to be beholden to Cenat forever, and he's always going to be able to hold that over your head. But either way, that's not going to happen. You're not going to get picked. You're delusional. Last night on my stream, I had a conversation with my boys, and I was telling them how there were two types of delusion. There's good delusion and there's bad delusion. For you to make it in this content creation game, in this game of life, you need to be delusional. You need to believe in yourself 100%. You need to believe that you're going to make it no matter what other people say, no matter what the odds are. But that delusion is based on work. People see me on here every day posting videos, talking, and they say, oh, this guy's delusional. He thinks he's going to make it as a content creator. But I'm delusional at work. I have thousands of videos behind me backing up my delusion. The sad thing is when you're in a line waiting for 10 hours to get picked to be the next big content creator and you have not done any work at all. You haven't worked on yourself. You haven't worked on your content. You don't even know how to make content. You haven't even made any videos. So even in the best case scenario, Cenat does try to pick you. Why would he pick you if you haven't made any videos? You have no experience. You don't even have time in front of the camera. A lot of people think that sitting in front of a camera and talking is easy. It's not easy. So you're just wasting everybody's time. But it doesn't matter because that's not the intention of the event. The intention of the event is that you're going to stand in line. The media is going to see 1 million people standing waiting for this guy. They're going to talk about it, and it's going to be free promo. That's what it is. You're free promo. You're the clip farm, and you don't even realize it. Now, some people are smart. Some people go to the event not to meet Kai. They said, forget about meeting Kai. They go to the event to make their own videos in their own clip farm. And that would be me. If I were going to one of these kind of events, I would be in that line trolling or talking to the people or interviewing them or doing something that's going to give me content. But that's a real content creator, right? Only a real content creator is going to think that way. A lot of these people in that line are just looking for a come up. And this is why I said that poor people are the easiest people to scam. The easiest people to scam. They'll fall for anything. Poor people will fall for anything because they're desperate, and a lot of them, they're not going to want to hear this, but they're lazy. The reason you're failing in life, the reason you haven't made it is because you're lazy. I used to be just like you. I used to be broke. I used to be poor. I used to make $20,000 a year. But I didn't sit there and blame other people. I didn't sit there in a line waiting for somebody else to give me a handout. If you're going to sit in a line waiting for somebody else to give you a handout, you might as well stand in that line for the rest of your life. And these are the same people, the exact same people that were standing in line for the Swatch AP watch. I'm convinced that these people just want to feel important. They want to get the reward before they put in the work. You think that I'm going to sit in line for anything multiple hours, my time is valuable. But that's where everything comes to light. They don't value themselves. That's why you're broke, because you don't value yourself. You value other people. You value material things. And, you know, people are going to say, oh, but you value, no, I don't value material things. I get material things. There's a difference. There's a difference between going out and buying something that you like and then flexing it on you brokies and standing in a line for 10 hours to get a fake watch to feel important, unearned. You didn't earn an AP. You're trying to cut the line. You're trying to skip steps. You know, a few days ago, I watched a video. It was an older gentleman, and he was talking about how back in the day in PE, you used to do rally races. You used to have to run to a line, touch it, and run to your partner, touch their hand, and do relays. And he said that there were people in that event that would not touch the line, right? And when you didn't touch the line, the coach would say, yo, you got to go back and touch the line. That's what a lot of you guys are doing in life. A lot of you guys are not touching the line in life. You're coming close to the line and you're turning around and running back and trying to pretend like you made it. And you want the world to see that you made it, but you haven't put in the work. You haven't touched the line. Getting this $20,000 Rolex, which by the way, now is worth $25,000. Price went up. Getting a supercar McLaren and a Porsche, living in the city, downtown, a nice apartment, doing all the stuff that I've done, becoming a software engineer, making mid-six figures. That wasn't easy. That wasn't me skipping steps. I had to touch the line. But you don't want to do that. You don't want to put in the work. You don't want to spend years grinding, working on your craft, getting better. You want to go sit in a line and have Cenat handpick you. Daddy Kai. That's what you want because you're lazy. Now, not everybody in the line is lazy. Some of the people, like I said, are actual content creators. And I'm sure that those people, when they were in that line, capitalized on it. But a lot of people are just fools. Idiots, standing there, not knowing what they're doing in life, chronically unemployed. And there's nothing wrong with being unemployed. You can be unemployed if you're working on yourself, but they're not working on themselves. That's the whole point. They don't value their time. They don't have a passion for anything, and they want a free handout. And that combination is a fatal combination in life. It's a fatal combination in life. Look, I'm in my mid-30s. I've had plenty of friends in the past that had that mindset, the Willy Wonka mindset. And where are they now? They're literally in the same spot they were in 15 years ago. You don't want to be the guy who is in the same spot you are right now in your 20s when you're 30 or 40 or 50 because you didn't lock in, because you wanted a handout, because you thought Willy Wonka was going to give you the golden ticket. That's not how life works. That's a fantasy. That's a delusion. Make your delusions have foundation. All of my delusions have foundation. Because if your delusion doesn't have foundation, you're just crazy. And you're not going to make it. You're not going to be able to go back and say, you see, everybody thought I was crazy, but I was onto something. You're not going to be able to do that because your delusion has no foundation. My delusions have hours and hours and hours of work. My delusions have thousands and thousands and thousands of videos. My delusions have made me a better speaker, a better storyteller, a better creator. What have your delusions done? You need to stop being delusional and work on yourself. Cenat is not going to save you. Adin Ross is not going to save you. MrBeast is not going to save you. Nobody's going to save you. That's not how life works. You're sinking right now and you're not realizing it. And life is sink or swim. I chose to swim. So I hope that this video wakes a few people up. It has to. It has to. And some people are going to call me a hater, but those people are just, they're stuck in that delusion. They're stuck in that delusion. They don't want to wake up. And I get it. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard to realize that you're failing in life and that it's your own fault. People don't want to hear that. This is the reason why people hate on me. This is the reason why people hate on successful people. Because they don't want to hear that it's their fault. And they don't want to see somebody who they think is less capable than them make it. This is the reason why they cope. Oh, this guy got lucky. Oh, that's a rental. Oh, that's fake watch. Probably rented it. because they don't want to admit that somebody else could beat them when they think that they're superior to that person. But the superior complex that they have is just a delusion. You're not superior to me because I put in the work. You didn't. And a lot of you will spend an entire day watching other people put in the work, and then it makes you feel like you're putting in the work. That's also another problem. And I'm going to touch on that in a future video. The people who just watch a bunch of tutorials and a bunch of motivational content like this video. If you're one of those people, you need to turn this off right now and go do something, because my hard work is not your hard work. They sit there, they watch a bunch of content, and they think that they're doing something in life. They feel like they did something today. Their mindset. This is why you need to read books. Your mindset is all messed up. You've fallen into a trap where you think that you're doing something without any merit. But like I said, I'm going to talk about that in another video. I just want you guys to stop waiting on Willy Wonka to save you. Go out. Find your own passions, your own dreams. Maybe you're not built to be a content creator. Have you ever thought of that? Maybe your role in society is something else. Not everybody has been put on this planet to be a content creator, myself included. That's why I say I'm doing this, but I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket. So go out, find out who you are, work on yourself, lock in, or you're going to regret it. And standing in a line for 10 hours to meet Cenat, or to buy a fake watch, or to do whatever foolishness the society has tricked you into doing, that's not going to help you. Anyways, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. If you want to watch a video about how to be yourself, it's going to be right here or here. I don't know where it is anymore. They keep moving this thing around. Anyways, I'm out. Peace.